Going to be a short one today. Just wanted to talk about a couple of things that really made the news. I did watch James DeGale's comeback bout last night, and as you can see here on the screen, it says DeGale wins on his bare knuckle boxing debut. And I also want to talk about the British heavyweight title fight that got announced this week as well. So let's get straight into it, people. Don't forget to hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. James DeGale winning on his bare knuckle boxing debut last night against Matt Floyd. I watched it. I tuned in. Had a quiet Saturday night, so I thought, you know what? Let me just watch the boxing, right? So James DeGale, as you guys know, a terrific career. Went to the Olympics, Olympic gold. He, had a very good professional career. Retired 7, 8 years ago. Comes out of nowhere, says he wants to make a comeback, right? Like took everybody by surprise. His last fight in the boxing ring was against Chris Eubank Jr. It was clear that he was done, and it appeared once he had finished his career that he was going to sail off into the sunset. You didn't really hear anything from DeGale, so this came as a surprise. The fact that he wanted to come back 7, 8 years later, taking up bare knuckle, and I'm just going to be honest, man. I watched it last night and it was horrible. It was horrific, terrible spectacle. Like a lot of clinching, a lot of grappling. I think the referee said break more times than anything. I just kept on hearing him say break, stop. Referee taking points. He took points from Matt Floyd. I think he took 3 points from Matt Floyd in total, and he took 1 point from James DeGale. So it kind of gives you an indication as to how that fight went. A lot of clinching, a lot of grappling. You know, throw 1, 2 shots, grapple. It was horrible. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that that's what bare knuckle is about, but this particular fight as a spectacle was horrible. But it did turn into a bloody warfare. Do you know what I mean? Both men were, bloodied up. But that could have been down to elbows and headbutts more than anything. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, horrible spectacle. But James DeGale got the win, and let's read the article. Let's see what the BBC say here. Britain's James DeGale earned victory by unanimous decision against Matt Floyd on his bare knuckle boxing debut in Manchester. DeGale, an Olympic gold medalist and former two-time IBF super middleweight champion, came out on top of a scrappy affair with the judges scoring it 48-43, 48-43 and 47-44 in his favour. Australian Floyd was deducted 3 points during the fight for headbutting and DeGale, for headbutting DeGale and putting him in a headlock, while the 39-year-old Briton doing some of his best work via his jab. The holding and punching, it's crazy stuff, but I'm 1-0, and that's all that matters, said DeGale. Yeah, he was doing that too, though. This wasn't all Matt Floyd doing it. He was doing it as well. You know, it was horrible. They were both doing it. It was just horrific watch, man. Terrible. Like if you haven't watched it, don't bother going on and watching it. It was that bad, right? Um, let's see here. He was tough, but in a boxing fight, he wouldn't last 2 rounds. I mean, yeah, if this was a boxing fight, he probably wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? The bout was DeGale's first since a punishing loss to Eubank 6 years ago that ended his career. DeGale made history as Britain's first boxer to win Olympic gold and a professional world title in 2015. So yeah, listen, his boxing credentials can't be, it can't even be, debated. Olympic gold medalist and won a world title. He will go down in British boxing history for that. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this just seemed, I was just asking myself during this, why is he doing this? What's the, does he really want to do this? Like bare knuckle boxing? I know it could be a window for something else. And he did highlight that in an interview that maybe he might be able to go on misfits from this or, and I'm sure getting the win will prompt him to wanting to do maybe more, maybe another bare knuckle boxing match. Maybe he will get a misfits fight. That's what he's looking at. It just makes you ask the question, and I'm not pocket watching or anything like that, but does he need the money? You know, because I was just asking myself during this whole contest last night, why is he even in this? Do you know what I mean? So, what did you guys think? Did you guys watch it? Did you bother tuning in? If you did, what did you think? It was a scrappy, messy, horrible affair. Like just one punch, one from one punch, grab, grappling, holding each other. And then at the end of the first round, it nearly escalated into something else, right? Because they were hitting after the bell. And then people started coming into the ring. It was a bit messy, that was, but yeah, overall, it was horrible. Not a nice spectacle to watch at all. Now, bare knuckle boxing ain't my thing, but yeah, I didn't enjoy this main event as a whole. Conor McGregor was there, you know, he was making a lot of noise and he was like amping up the crowd and all that stuff. So he was doing his bit. But yeah, man, nah, I didn't enjoy it, and I wouldn't recommend him going back. But he's not going to listen to me. Why would he? Do you know what I mean? James DeGale is, he's his own man, right? He won't listen to people like me or you. But watching this, I was just like, nah, this is terrible, man. So let me know what you guys think about it, man. Yeah, James DeGale winning on his bare knuckle boxing debut. What next for him? Let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, that's pretty much all. Now, people, this story was announced a couple of days ago. Very interesting here. Frazier Clarke and Jeamie TKV will be facing each other on BBC Two on the 25th of October for the British heavyweight title. Now, this is interesting because, yeah, it's not a bad domestic bout. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind seeing this scrap. But also, the fact that they've decided that it is on the 25th of October, which of course clashes with Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley, which is the much bigger fight. Do you know what I mean? So, interesting that the BBC have gone down this route and Boxer have. Maybe it was already in their scheduling planning. I'm not sure. But yeah, to put this on the same night as Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley is really going to test to see, how much of a pull the BBC and Boxer will have because it is on mainstream television, right? It'll be more access to much more people than Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker, right? But it's nowhere near the bigger fight. But having it on mainstream, I guess it's a good test to kind of see where you are straight away, right? Because it's competing with another heavyweight fight domestically, right? Even though Joseph Parker's not a British heavyweight, he has based himself here for the last few years. And, Fabio Wardley is a popular British fighter. So let's get into the article here. Frazier Clarke and Jeamie TKV will fight for the British heavyweight title on the 25th of October in Derby. Now, is Jeamie TKV from Derby? I wonder why they put it in Derby. Because Frazier Clarke, he's London based, right? Or is he? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But anyway, the headline bout at the Valiant Arena is the first in a new partnership between BBC and Boxer. Olympic bronze medalist Clarke has won 9 pro bouts. TKV has won 8 of his 10 fights. And yeah, Frazier Clarke saying it's amazing to be headlining on the BBC. It's such a big platform, which it is. There's going to be so much eyes on the fight. I can't wait to get out there and put on the show. The event will be live between 8 and 10 on BBC Two, and the undercard will be shown on BBC iPlayer. So yeah, that is indirect. I mean, between 8 and 10, I reckon that maybe there might, if it's between 8 and 10, then, let's say the main event kicks off at like 9:15, 9:30, then it might be fine. Do you know what I mean? It might not, it probably wouldn't clash with Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker because that ring walk for that fight will probably be around 10:30, going by previous fights, right? So maybe they're putting it on, slightly earlier in that case. But it will still clash with the undercard for Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker. So and I'm not sure what the undercard is for this fight here. I'm sure they'll announce that in due course. But Clarke is from Burton upon Trent. Okay, that makes sense. He's not from London. He's from around that area there. So that's why it's going to be held in Derby. And yeah, won a British, came close to the British crown in March. 33-year-old was then knocked out in the first round of there. Yeah, that was a terrible knockout, man, from Fabio Wardley. And let's see, he's talking it up. He's saying, I'm going to be ice cold in there. I've traveled the world as an amateur. So that's what Frazier Clarke says. And yeah, the British title is definitely, it's a prestigious belt. Do you know what I mean? And big names in heavyweight have held this belt, as you can see here. Henry Cooper, Lennox Lewis, Tyson Fury, AJ, all of them have held the British title. So it is a prestigious belt to hold. One of the best looking belts in boxing as well, just on a personal level. But yeah, not a bad fight. Not a bad fight to be shown as the first boxer show on the BBC. Be interesting to see what the undercard will be. But yeah, what do you guys think about this fight, man? And the fact that it is going to be, in direct competition with Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. Now, like I said, maybe that was just they had this in their schedule from before, do you know? But yeah, it'd be interesting. And this happens in boxing all the time, right? Like this isn't nothing new with fights being held on the same night as other shows and all that stuff. But I think that the fact that this is 2 domestic bouts, this one and then obviously the other one. Well, not I keep saying domestic. Joseph Parker is not from England, but you know what I mean. Um, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Now, obviously, Parker and Wardley will be on DAZN, which is a subscription app. So that limits them in terms of reach, right? You have to subscribe to that app to see the fight. So that's where the BBC will have a much better, bigger advantage because that's available to everybody. So, yeah, in that sense, you would say that they do have the advantage. But in terms of the fight, in terms of what it means, like Parker and Wardley is definitely the bigger fight. has more meaning in the heavyweight division right now. So curious to know what you guys think, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like I said, it's a short weekend roundup today. Not too much really that caught my eye this week to discuss. And obviously, yeah, the big boxing this weekend, I say boxing, but it was bare knuckle boxing, was of course James DeGale and Matt Floyd in that bare knuckle bout. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about it, man. That pretty much wraps it up for the weekend roundup today. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Look out for the next episode next week, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.